Good morning, RaptorFreaks. Alexi Otts here. A little bit late. I woke up like 5 minutes ago and threw everything together real quick this morning. The Raptors are playing 2 games today, so we got to be ready for both of them. In fact, the first game today, I believe, is at like 11 o'clock this morning. The Raptors 905 are playing against the Texas Legends, or no, Birmingham. Well, let me look at this again real quick. Birmingham at Raptors 905. Oh, are they playing here? Okay, so they're playing here, guys. So yeah, 11 a.m. There's a game today for the Raptors 905 that we need to be very much ready for. It's like very opposite today. It's like we got this game at 10 p.m. and then we got this game at 11 a.m. in like an hour and a half. The Birmingham team will be playing the Raptors 905 here in Mississauga. Christian Koloko and the 905 players are here in Toronto, in Mississauga, to play this game. Koloko is not with the team on the West Coast, but he will join them for the second game against Golden State, apparently. But he is with the 905 to play 2 games real quick against Birmingham here today. Just real quick, let me do the ref report for the 905 game before I forget. The referees today for Birmingham at Raptors 905 are JD Rails as the crew chief, Ken Jones, and Josh Wilson. Those are the refs for the 905 game starting in less than 2 hours from now. So be ready for Raptors action at 9 a.m. this morning and then 10 p.m. Sacramento Kings, of course, today. Woohoo! Double duty. Let's do it, baby. Let's go, Raptors. Yeah. It's game day, baby. I'm serious. I woke up at 9:24 this morning. I just woke up. I'm going to show that I can do this even when I just wake up. Good day, sir. We got a big test to start this business trip. Let's go, Raptors. Oh, and Bob McCowan is spewing fake news. Oh, yeah. Tom Duke. I'm glad you brought this up. Good morning to you, Tom Duke. Yeah, Giovanni brought this crap yesterday to the channel, and he was trying to tell me some different crap last night. And I'm telling him, look, bro, I know it's all fake news. Listen, I've got the real deal reasons why it's fake news. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. You look at a personality profile of OG Anunoby, and what they're trying to say about him just doesn't fit the personality profile. It was the same way last summer when Jake from State Farm started a very similar rumor. This is in fact the same fucking bullshit. It's just recycled at this point. The whole idea that OG is not happy with his role and that he wants to leave the Raptors. This is all hearsay and absolute bullshit. There is no evidence of this whatsoever other than some idiot decided to talk to Bob McCowan about it. And Bob said, "Oh, I got a source that said that OG's not happy with the Raptors." He is so full of shit. And as I've said before a few times this year already, do not listen to Bob McCowan or anybody associated with him because he's not a basketball person. He has nothing to do with NBA people. He's just coming up with shit off the top of his head. And yesterday they decided to do some stupid ass thing about OG Anunoby being unhappy playing for the Raptors. He wants a way out. This is so dumb for so many different reasons. First of all, when they were doing this on the radio show at the very same time, they're having practice and OG practice. First of all, he had his MRI done on his ankle and it all came out really good. And he's absolutely healthy. And he will be playing tonight for us against the Sacramento Kings. I can tell you that right now, that he may be listed questionable, but he is going to play. He told Coach Nick Nurse himself yesterday with a big smile, I am 94% ready to play right now. I am not 100%, but I'm 94%. And that's better than the 92% I was yesterday. And he said it with a smile. This does not sound like a disgruntled man. This does not sound like somebody who doesn't want to play. Somebody who doesn't want to play uses every little minor injury to sit out like Kawhi Leonard did his last year in San Antonio. So this does not make any fucking sense, Bob McCowan. You may not have been paying any attention last summer when Jake from State Farm, Jake Fisher, started this kind of bullshit about OG and it was not founded. And then at the end of the summer, OG came out and said, I don't know where any of this bullshit came from because it doesn't have anything to do with anything I said or did anything to make them think this. They're just going to write shit and make it up. Well, that's what's happening today. In fact, it's blown up so badly that they've put it on the front page of Yahoo Canada. that they put this article right on the front page of Yahoo Canada. Raptor star OG Anunoby doesn't want to play for the Raptors right now. What a spreading of hearsay bullshit. This is the thing. I am going to stand on my credibility on this one against Bob McCowan and say I am right, he is wrong, and it is going to be found that the facts of this case are going to show that his report yesterday is complete and utter bullshit. It's utter bullshit, just like Jake's was found to be utter bullshit last summer. This is going to be exactly the same thing because there's nothing about what's going on right now that points to OG's unhappy. First of all, we'll do the same thing that we did last year. In fact, this is different because he's played this year. He's played very well this year. And one of the things that OG does is that he has to put out a supreme effort on the court to play the kind of defense that he plays. If this man's unhappy, he wouldn't be working his ass off for Nick Nurse and playing as well he has been this year. If this man was unhappy, he would not be playing the way he's been playing this year. You idiot, Bob McCowan. You guys don't pay attention to the Raptors close enough. This man's an ultimate teammate. He loves his teammates. He has so much fun with Scotty and Pascal and Fred and Giovanni, whatever you're fucking talking about in Nick Nurse's book, saying that OG came to him to talk about Fred holding the ball too much. That's utter bullshit also, because OG does not think that way. We know OG's personality profile, and there's not a selfish bone in his body. Whoever thinks OG's upset and he's coming to management or he's coming to Nick Nurse and saying that he thinks that other people shouldn't have the ball, you're idiots. Because he's never, ever been a player in this league that has demanded the ball or wanted the ball. In fact, he gets the ball naturally, and he's happy with that. You think he cares whether he gets 7 points or 27 points in a game? He cares if we win. That's what he cares about. So it's like all y'all who think that OG's coming from a selfish point of view and that would be the reason why he wants to leave. Well, you don't know fucking OG. You don't know fucking OG. So listen, I'll shoot that Bob McCowan stupid ass report yesterday down with fucking 25 different bullets from a Gatling gun of truth. That this bullshit is just the same as Jacob State Farm's fucking stupid ass article last summer. It's the same kind of shit. And in fact, we may hear from OG saying, yeah, I don't know where they're getting this crap from. They just materialize it out of thin air to just make up some shit. And woo, now Yahoo's going to get some clicks on their main page because Raptor fans, you know what it is? Yahoo, their page is made to trigger you. You can go and look at it. Go look at Yahoo's main page after we're done here and see how many of the articles and the headlines are written to make you upset so that you will click on it. Well, this is just what they do. They tailor make this for people that are Raptor fans. Ooh, let's make a really bullshit article that has no basis in reality and put it on blast on the front page of Yahoo. And what happens is people like Stevie Roots' mom read that, who loves OG, and she freaks out and she calls Steve and says, is this true? Or is OG unhappy? Is he leaving? Oh my gosh. Like last summer when Jake wrote that article, she thought it was true. And she went into all these weird places with her head. This is how damaging and stupid false information and bullshit articles like what Bob McCowan and his dumbass little radio buddies did yesterday, and how it spreads to places like Yahoo. And then people see it on Yahoo and they're like, oh, it must be true. No, it's not true. It's absolute bullshit. And if you listen to me in the last 10 minutes, you'll understand why in my rant. Oh my gosh, it's so stupid. And what a dumb dumpster fire Bob McCowan lit in the Toronto Raptors team. You know what? The great thing is everything's set up to counterbalance exactly what he's fucking saying is the problem. These guys yesterday, when Pascal did his interview in practice, was talking about the road and going on the road for 7 games in 2 weeks, 12 days on the road. All it is the buddies, the dudes together. Trapped together. They don't go home to their girlfriends and wives and families or their dog. They go home to their teammates and they get bunks. They stay in rooms together and they have roommates and they go out to team dinners and they go and do fun stuff and they bond together because they're around each other 24/7. Instead of just go to the game, warm up, do everything at the game, and then go home and be on your own personal life while you're here in Toronto. This is why these road trips can be very, very good, even though they're daunting and a little bit tough because of the schedule of the games against the tough teams in their home building in the West. Well, this is why we do well on this trip, because these guys are dying for a bonding experience. They're dying to get on the road and get back to really feeling tight together. That synergy together. Just think about it this way. They're hanging out on the road the whole time. OG and Scotty palling around, laughing and making jokes. They feel that connection a little bit more stronger. And we see more of the great connectivity between the Raptors we've seen recently in recent games, just because they're on the road and it's us versus them, baby. Everybody against us. We're in enemy territory and we're together all the time, and we're making closer friends. We're going out to team dinners and we're sitting and we're telling jokes and we're laughing. And as Thad Young put it, we're getting to know each other even better so that we're even more closer and connected, so that we play better on the court. Watch, seriously, this could be a very important road trip this season, because it may fix some of the very like kind of okay chemistry things, but even better because guys are fused together because of the 24/7ness of a long road trip. This is what bonds people. This is the same kind of thing. Like I said, you get in the car with like three of your best buddies and you drive and you drive and you feel that way of being on the road with your pals. This is how they feel. And this is going to be so helpful for right now. In fact, they were kind of alluding to, we needed this trip. We needed this trip bad. And we're really glad it's happening now. That it is kind of perfect timing that they're hitting the West. We saw a really cool clip, the episode 1 of the West Coast trip, of them getting on the plane yesterday. Everybody coming in with their bags, mostly assistant coaches, a couple of the players, Gary, Scotty, a couple of them in the images of that we're seeing yesterday on the Toronto Raptors Instagram account. But yeah, that's fantastic. All 3 interviews yesterday were very, very interesting and telling. We had Pascal talking about the merits of the road trip and bonding and the fertile ground of how that gets that way. And you can really understand it and think about it from the way they won their road trip last year, that West Coast road trip where they beat these teams like Phoenix and Denver back to back, San Antonio, both the Lakers and the Clippers. You know, they beat all these teams on that road trip. Well, this road trip could end up being very similar, even though the opponents are a little bit tough this time. Although Denver and Phoenix were real tough last year when we went into their buildings and beat them there on 2 nights in a row. That's the thing. You know, tonight, as I said, could be the toughest one because Sacramento is extremely hot right now, and they have been winning at a very high clip in their last 10 games. You know, so they've won 8 out of their last 10, 8 out of their last 9. So it's like, yeah, we need to be careful about Sacramento tonight. We need to watch out for their scorching hot 3-point shooting and kick their ass. And that will make a statement to start this road trip by beating the Kings tonight at 10 p.m. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Bad stuff in the press, but good stuff with this road trip. Trust me. All right, let's see. I'm Shanky's here. Shanky making some ground up yesterday in the trivia. Woohoo, Shanky, you're getting closer to David. Getting closer. Let's see. Is this OG news to try and get his asking price lowered for other teams? I don't think that it has anything to do with anybody who has anything to do with the Raptors. I think this is just people that hate the Raptors trying to cause trouble when they can see the team is about to figure things out and maybe pull it out of the mud. Yeah, those Raptor haters, those NHL people, those fucking Leaf people, those people that are fucking in the Canadian broadcasting thing, they were like, oh, the Raptors look like they may be getting things together. Scotty and Precious look real good. Start an OG rumor. Fucking Gargamel motherfuckers with your Azrael cat. Yeah, that's probably what this shit is. I mean, honestly, it's that simple. You know, it could be Bob McCown's on the phone. Let me do a little role play here. Hey, it's Bob McCown. Yeah. Hey, who is this? Oh, yeah. Okay. OG, really? Wow. Who? Okay. Wow. I didn't know that. Wow. I'm going to put this on the show. Thank you so much, Bob McCowan. You know what? The janitor at MLSE just told me about OG's unhappy because his garbage wasn't empty. I'll leave out that convenient part. Yeah, it could be as stupid as that. These motherfuckers are grasping for bullshit. And as I said, they want to grasp for that little thread that will try and unravel everything for the Raptors. And this is what they're trying to do. And this is the stupidest way to do it because this way has been proven it doesn't work. Because all the real Raptor fans like us understand OG and know that this is not true. Tom Duke said in his first comment, he said, this doesn't seem true in my opinion. Something doesn't Add up, Brian Winders. You know, and this was the same way last summer with Jake from State Farm. And I said the same thing the whole time last time. And I was vindicated at the end of this summer when they finally interviewed OG about it. And he said, no, there was never any of this kind of stuff. And I don't know what these guys are talking about. Well, this is the same damn shit. In fact, the next time we hear from OG and they ask him about this report, I'll bet you he'll say the same thing he said last summer at the end of summer when they asked him about Jake's little report. So it's hilarious. It's crazy. Salute the Real Ones Project. Truth is in effect because it is necessary this morning, Mike, with Bob McCowan spreading his lies all over the radio waves of Toronto and then to Yahoo on their main page. You go to Yahoo and go look and see how they put this on blast. The lies that are not true about OG Anunoby. Why would you put that out there? Why would you put that on your front page? It's so stupid. In fact, they may be taking it down already because they found out, oh, this may not be true. Yeah, you better stop spreading lies, motherfuckers. That's what I'm saying. I'm a fun guy saying, honestly, Kings feel like a team we can beat. We were up on them all game by a good amount and lost last second. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm interested about this too, fun guy. Listen, they've been talking about a lot about how the Kings are very much built like the Warriors. That Mike Brown was an assistant coach under Steve Kerr, and he's employing a system that the Warriors use. Well, the Raptors play the Warriors system real well. We've beaten the Warriors quite often in recent years, even though they've been a very good team. And yes, the last time we played the Kings here in Toronto, that was one of those games that we would love to have back and maybe possibly get to do a redo on the last couple minutes to try and win it because it was very close. And, you know, maybe the little bit of change that we've had in our team since we saw Sacramento here in Toronto is adding up to that little bit that'll make us beat them this time. Because we are seeing developments quickly with Scotty Barnes and Precious Achiuwa. And we're also playing way, way better than we were at that time when Sacramento was at Scotiabank Arena. So this is all very logical reasoning, fun guy, that, you know, we match up well with them. We play their system well. We played them very close in the game here, and we're going to get another chance where we've improved how we've been playing recently. So I feel real good about tonight also. And in fact, we need to be coming in there and shock people and say, hello, we're raising the alarm for y'all because we're coming now. And the Raptors are back. Isaac Campbell saying, happy game day, you fine folks. Thank you, Isaac Campbell. And thank you once again. Isaac Campbell has donated the Vince Carter Tar Heel autographed jersey from his collection to be the prize for the fantasy basketball this year. Thank you, Isaac. Once again, the benevolent Isaac Campbell is in the house. G saying, Bob said he accidentally got a call and told him OG wanted out. That sounds so unreliable. I know. He said he accidentally got a call. So this is the janitor called him by accident. He's like, oh, is this Mr. Masai? I was like, no, this isn't Mr. Masai. This is Bob McCowan. I want the original, the OG of basketball, Masai Ujiri on yours. What are you saying? What? I want out of this phone call. He's like, wait, you OG wants out? That's what you said? No, I want out of this phone call with you. I want OG original, President Masai Ujiri. No, okay. OG wants out of Toronto. Click. You know, it could be something as dumb as that. I was like, you know, oh man, this is so stupid. Like, fuck you, Bob McCowan. I'm glad I already said fuck you preemptively many times in my lifetime before this time to add up to this time right now to say it one more time. Fuck you, Bob McCowan, for your misinformation. Oh, I had a source call me and they accidentally called me and they told me that OG wants out. Oh, you fucking old fucks. Just kick him down the road. Come on, get out of here, Bob McCowan, your old graybeard sidekick motherfuckers. Yeah, I don't even know your sidekick's name. I don't even care what his name is. I just know Bob McCowan. I'm Bob McCowan. He's probably just as bad as fucking Derringer. Those radio guys are fucking sleaze bags, man. Who knows what Bob McCowan's done to women in his life or so? I don't know. Maybe he sounds like he might be one of those dudes. Anyway, those radio guys can be like that. That's kind of why I got on radio. But anyway, let's keep going here. Fred fired his agent, and Rich Paul is in Toronto, apparently. Woo! Listen, I take this as a couple different ways. Let me do another cosplay real quick. Another little, like, acting out of a situation. This is Fred VanVleet. Hello, Parlay? Yeah. Listen, Listen, I meant that when I said that at the beginning of the year about I want to be a Raptors for life. Listen, I don't care, y'all. In some ways, my priorities aren't the same as y'all's. Y'all, I know y'all want to make as much money off of me, but I don't really want that. I want to stay in Toronto. I don't care. I don't care. My family is here. My children have been born here. My third child's about to be born here, and I want to stay in Toronto. I don't care about how much money I can get. Just let me stay. I don't care. I don't care if this hamstrings y'all. You know what? Fuck y'all. Y'all are fired. Bye. Hey, listen, that could have been what it is right there. Seriously, seriously, we don't know why he fired them. Maybe they aren't lining up on what they want in the negotiations. It could be that they're greedy. In some ways, people say, oh, recently that Fred's very much like Kyle. Yeah, he does want to get paid. He wants to get paid fairly. But in some ways, he isn't totally like, we're going to take you to the bank and clean you out. He is somebody who's working with the whole concept of the Toronto Raptors being a winning team that wins championships. And when he thinks about it, he's like, you know what? I want my proper piece of the pie for my pay. But in some ways, I don't want to take so much that I'll take away from the whole team being able to win a lot, because that's what he wants. The whole thing he wants. He doesn't give a shit about the money. He doesn't give a shit about anything except for winning and winning more championships. So as you think, listen about this. All the people that are worried about Fred getting overpaid with an extension or anything like that, think about that. And maybe this is why he fired his representation, is because they maybe were going a little bit more business-like, and maybe he's a little bit more like, you know what? I'm serious. I want to be a Raptor for life. He wouldn't say that. They probably freaked out at Parlay when he said that. Fred, oh my gosh, you just said you want to be a Raptor for life. Well, you just fucked up our bargaining advantage and what we're trying to do with getting you a bigger contract. Why would you say that, Fred? He was like, well, because it's true. I'm a real one, and I'm going to say what I mean and what I want. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now Bobby and Masai know you want to stay, and they can maybe lowball you, man. Why would you do that? Fuck you, Parlay. You're fired. I don't care if they lowball me in a way, because I want to be a Raptor, motherfuckers. It could be as simple as that. I mean, seriously, y'all. I don't know exactly why Fred fired his management yesterday, but I just gave you a plausible scenario for why. So let's go with that one. How about that? Let's go with that one, Raptor Freaks. It's because he wants to stay in Toronto, and maybe they're pushing him to be exploring the market a little bit more. You know, it just makes so much sense. Fred is not this kind of guy that wants to just upend his whole family, his very young family, and take them somewhere else. Life is good in Toronto. They have it all set up. They have it the way they like it. And, you know, listen, a little bit of money, a little bit more money is not worth it to uproot your whole entire family, your children's lives, and go somewhere else. So this is how I read this whole agency thing. And hey, if Rich Paul's showing up, look, that's not a whole bad thing. Seriously, he's a good agent, and he's worked very well with the Raptors in the past. Now, I wish maybe Omar, OG's agent in Rich Paul's umbrella company with LeBron James, is like his primary agent for Fred. That'd be great if it's Omar, just like OG. That would be good. That would be better. But Rich Paul, listen, Fred, if you're getting with new representation because you're gearing up for this, okay, that's fine. And, you know, you should. But I like to think that the phone call went the way I just did it. Because it makes sense. I'm going off of what I've seen and heard, and what could possibly be the friction between him and his representation company. So Jimmy's saying he's probably talking about the report that came out a while ago. He's so out of the loop. Stick to hockey. Yeah, okay, so Pope of Positivity, Jimmy Pope's here. I love you, Jimmy. You're the best. And yeah, this may be right. Like, this dude is so, like, fucking out of it and old and stupid, Bob McCown. Oh, this report is from last summer? Oh, shit. Well, I already said it on the air. Oh, fuck. I hope people don't realize that I'm just recycling old-ass news that's already been debunked and stupid as fuck. Oh, damn. Oh, I really screwed up this morning. Janice, get me my coffee. Something stupid like that. You know, it's like, what the fuck, man? It's probably right, Jimmy. It's probably right, because it sounds like a carbon copy of that Jake from State Farm bullshit that happened last summer. And we haven't heard much from Jake since, because his credibility's gone out the window. Well, Bob, you want to fuck around with your credibility with a stupid ass OG story like this? Maybe OG is just the guy who susses out horrible journalists. and they all get like go away afterwards, like Jake from State Farm. I ain't heard nothing about Jake from State Farm since he got that OG story wrong. And that maybe your credibility is going to take a big hit this week, Bob McCown, with your out of pocket old ass, I'm behind the times, getting old ass news from last summer, and I'm just going to report it like it's new now. Yeah, this is the same kind of shit, just like they said when Fred did not take his contract extension. Well, he didn't get it offered exactly. And they're saying, oh, he got this money offered to him from the beginning of the season. And Logical Raptors fanatic, many other people said, like, look, that money was always there. And this situation hasn't changed in any kind of way. Y'all are just putting on blast all of a sudden in the news for like some sort of weird fucking, like probably bad reasons. Guardian Transit's here. Good to see Guardian Transit. It's been a little bit. Good to see you, my friend. If all the OG news has any merit, Masai Ujiri pulls a trade, he would be crazy not to do it. However, I do not have any confidence in Toronto sports reporters. They can be a cancer themselves to the team. I'm glad that Guardian Transit realizes this, and he's exactly right on this. This is a big thing. Is McCowan's not Raptors Nation. McCowan is not somebody who's for the Raptors. He's just a fucking old piece of shit with a radio microphone and a platform to talk on the news, on the radio here in Toronto. He really, honestly, just should stick to the NHL. If you love the hockey and the Leafs, you go ahead and fucking talk about the Leafs every fucking day. Be the Maple Leaf freak. I'll be the Raptor freak. You leave that kind of shit to me, because I actually know what I'm fucking talking about, Bob McCowan. So you fucking piece of shit spreading lies about OG Anunoby yesterday. Fuck you, Bob McCowan. I will say that over and over again today, because he is the guy on my shit list today. Fuck you, Bob McCowan, for fucking starting bullshit that ain't even true. I mean, I want them to go interview OG today in practice. Please just go straight to him and ask him. He's like, are you upset? He's like, I'm upset because I didn't get the window seat on the plane here. Oh my gosh, I wanted the window seat so bad, but Scotty wouldn't let me. He had me sitting in the aisle. It's gonna be something stupid like that or so. I don't know. I mean, seriously, do you guys understand how OG is in interviews, Bob McCowan? Does this man ever express like that he's unhappy or disgruntled or upset? This man went through horrible tragedies in his early years of his career, with people in his family dying, him getting all kinds of, like, him having an appendectomy before we went on a championship run. He had all kinds of horrible tragedies. Did we ever see this guy complain or act upset or anything like that? No. This man's like Kawhi Leonard. He is not like that. I'm telling you. And this guy loves playing for Toronto. I don't understand what he doesn't like about playing for Toronto. Y'all think it's because he's selfish and he wants to be more offensive minded on another team? You're crazy. He loves playing with this team. And in some ways, he doesn't want all that pressure to be absolutely the guy and have to score like 20 plus points every single night. Trust me, he doesn't. He loves the defensive end, and he'd much rather be playing all out on that end. And everything that happens on the offensive end is extra on top. And this is the thing. Nick Nurse knows that, and he's very happy. This is so stupid. I will put my credibility on the line against Bob McCown's today in this whole situation, saying his report is wrong. He's full of shit. And you know what? He's going to look like an idiot very soon. Watch. Let's see. Logical Raptors fanatic is echoing what I'm saying. OG is getting a lot of development touches in games. I think OG is fine with his role. He's being invested in. That's exactly right. Anybody who watches basketball and watch this season can tell this. I don't think this motherfucker watches the games. You have not seen the leaps and bounds that OG has made with his game this season, alongside people like Pascal making leaps and bounds and Scotty making leaps and bounds. Everybody can make leaps and bounds. Everybody's getting opportunities. I don't understand why OG would be upset with his playing time or what's happening with him. He's in one of the very lucky, exclusive top 5 starters that gets overplayed. So where the fuck is he upset about not getting to play? Because the motherfucker gets to play more, just as much as anybody on that team, because he's in the select few that Nick Nurse overplays. So it's like, what? With the Brian Winders, Bob McCowan may be stupid, senile, and a little slow to the news is what is going on here. Oh, yeah. Randolph Phillips is saying, good to see Randolph Phillips, as always. Beloved Raptors freaks, most informative gang. Blessings on this game day against the Sacramento Kings. Yeah. Things are taking shape and form as we approach the trade deadline. Trades may or may not happen. Wait and see. This is all what we're doing. We're waiting and seeing. They may or may not happen, and it's the trade deadline. And when we get back, so some people are saying we're playing San Antonio right before that trade deadline. Some people are saying we don't want Pirtle. Some people are saying we want Miles Turner. Some people are saying we should do this, we should do that. Some people are saying we're not going to trade Gary now. There's a lot of different noise going on around here. And the only thing that I know is not true is that OG story from yesterday. Oh, yeah. G saying another report said Masai wants to keep their core together. No one really knows anything. Just a good time for clickbait. That's right. These motherfuckers don't write anything right now because nobody knows nothing. As I said, this is DEFCON 5 with information coming out of the Raptors. They really do keep it secretive. And in fact, let's talk about something that happened in the practice interviews yesterday with Thad Young. Thad Young, you've been playing in the league for 17 years. I understand, bro. You're a little casual. You're the vet. You've been through it all. Well, and yesterday in the practice interview, he told the reporters what they did in practice. He said, we watched a bunch of old clips from last year in our defense and how it worked so well last year and what was so good about it because Nick's trying to recapture it this year. And he's like, yeah, we watched a lot of clips from last year. That's all that really Thad Young said. But then when Nick got up there and he got interviewed after him, and I think it was Josh Lewenberg, he told Nick, he's like, Thad was up here saying that y'all watched defensive clips from last year to learn what you did good last year. And Nick immediately looked pissed off. Like his face changed right at that moment. And he's like, he was like that. And he was like, really? He said that about our closed secret meeting. And he's like, he looked pissed for the rest of the interview. That's why he looked pissed. He was pissed at Thad for being like, listen, he's been in the league for so long. He should know not to talk to the Raptors, the reporters about the Raptors closed practices and what they're talking about behind the scenes. Just mum's the word. Nobody knows what Masai and Bobby are doing. Nobody knows what Nick Nurse is doing. Nate Bjorkgren is going to be coming to visit you, Thad Young, on the plane and saying, Thad, we heard you talked about what happened in practice with the reporters yesterday in your interview. And, you can't do that. I know, Nate. I just trying to be, answer the questions. Yeah, but, I'm the secrets guy and you kind of broke secrets protocol. So now we're going to have to do the double titty twister, wet nurple purple punishment for breaking our secrets code. All right. I don't know, just making shit up today, like Bob McCowan. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. It's like that. I'm happy you told us this because it does give me some insight to what Nick is trying to search for answers on how to get the defense back to the way it was last year. Well, what make them watch last year? That makes so much sense. And then in some ways, I'm kind of like, Nick, chill. Don't get so mad at Thad for letting the cat out of the bag, bro. Chill, bro. Be cool. And he's like, no, man, this is serious. This is us winning, and this is us doing it right. And he should know not to talk to the reporters about what we're talking about. Like, he was really pissed. And he stayed pissed for the whole rest of the interview. And that's why he was pissed. Because Nick does not like the players like breaking the secrecy code. Very obviously, very, very obviously, very interesting too. Really crazy. Yeah, these reports, Masai Ujiri has no reports that anybody sees. These reports about Masai Ujiri or whatever he's doing or what he's doing, it's nothing. They don't tell nothing. This really is a big characteristic about our franchise, is that we really don't tip our hand in any kind of way or let any kind of murmurs. We don't have any leaks. We don't have anybody in the organization that's telling reporters to the side, like, come in here. Hey, Aaron Rose, come here. I got a juicy one for you, Aaron Rose. Yeah, put it on Sports Illustrated. Yeah, OG likes driving cars. Yeah, he really loves driving his car real fast. There you go, Aaron Rose. That's some exclusive content for you. I'm the leak. Shh, shh. I'm Alex McKechnie. Shh. No, it ain't nothing like that. It's nothing like that. In fact, that's a horrible accent for Alex McKechnie. That is not his accent. It's more like Carbascio, I guess, or something like that. But that's what I'm saying. Nate Bjorkgren is the secrecies coach. He's the one who's in charge of letting people know whether they can tell things or not. And he should have told that you can't talk about our practice yesterday. And he did. But Nick was pissed. Yeah, there you go. There's a little bit from yesterday. I have Candy in my bag is back. Candy in my van is back. Did you try to get into my DMs 2 days ago? No, I did not. I did not try to get in your DMs. This is very strange. What a weird question. And no, I'm going nowhere near your van or your candy. All right. Space Cadet is here. Our fans can be very fickle. Random report about OG and people taking Fred's 2020 negotiation video and thinking it's from this past summer. You don't have to believe everything. That's right, Space Cadet. Really take in your information and news sources in a very open-eyed way of skepticism. That you do need to suss out what is exactly true or not in today's world, because there is so much fake news and bullshit that is out there. It is really important to find sources that you trust, sources that still kind of like use the principles of good journalism, the ones that are really like kind of have that integrity still. If you can find those sources, just stick to them and forget about all the other bullshit out there that is trying to put information in your face, like Yahoo Canada. Fuck that shit. That they've never written a good article about the Raptors on Yahoo Canada's front page. It's always slanted and it's fucked up. And it makes me think that it's from Americans putting that shit out to fuck with us. Seriously. So, yeah, that's what I'll say too. Space Cadet, I'll echo on this. If y'all have good news sources, people that you trust, a newspaper, a site, whoever, sure. But, maybe even check them to make sure that you are getting, every story that comes your way from them, that you can kind of suss it out whether, there's some bullshit in it or not. Your bullshit meter has to be very high right now as far as like detecting bullshit, because there is a lot of bullshit in media today that is just not true. There's like anti-vax stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that's not true as far as, Trump's lies. There's all kinds of different stupid ass lies being put out there just for political agendas and political gain. And yeah, don't believe a lot of the shit that people are saying. Oh my gosh. Good morning to Cool Cat. Double header. Our big man will be playing, then heading to meet the big team on the West Coast. Nervous about will we be hearing after the business trip. This is kind of cool. And like, look, Nick said yesterday he really loved seeing Christian in the 905 jersey and the work he did in the 905 game he played recently. That's why he has him here. It's still in Mississauga to play these couple of games against Birmingham. This is the team we're playing the next couple games here in Toronto today and tomorrow. And then after he plays these two games, he's going to get on a plane tomorrow and fly out west and play against Golden State, hopefully on Friday. So yeah, this is pretty fun and exciting stuff for Koloko. He's not with them right now, but he will catch up and get the vibes of the long road trip. But he still gets 2 905 games before he leaves. So I think it's really smart managing of him in his development and getting him some good stuff, but also keeping him connected to the main roster on this road trip and really getting those good vibes for a young rookie on his first long West Coast road trip, even if he misses the first game or something. We'll have to see how it goes with him in 905 for the rest of the way. I think he should play down there as much as possible, but still they should try and make him as available for the main roster in proximity around that also. So there may be a lot of 905 games that he doesn't play just because he's valued to be around the main Raptors. So we'll have to see, but it's fun. It's cool. And I love hearing all that stuff they were talking about. This is the thing. They were very open about this trip. And another thing that Nick said about this trip, and I love what you're saying here, this business trip, is that Nick said that this trip is going to be full of a lot of meetings, a lot of practice, a lot of work. That this isn't a pleasure trip. This is a business trip, and they're going there, and they're going to have those players be doing stuff outside of the games all the time. In fact, I'll bet you they'll go on a couple excursions as a team, like for open gym, they'll go to a landmark or they'll go do something fun all together as a team for bonding. I'll bet you they'll do something like that out there, but there'll also be a lot of sessions where they're watching film, they're doing practices, and they're having meetings with players a lot on this trip. This is what Nick said yesterday. He wanted to orient the trip as being super serious. This is a business trip. This is only for work. This is for business, going out west and being on the West Coast. The weather's nice out there, apparently. Doug Smith lands, and his first tweet is, "The weather is beautiful in California." Woo! Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's January. But yeah, listen, this is the whole thing. They're taking this a very serious business trip. And as Nick put it in his interview, they're going to take every second and minute that they can to be focused on making the team better and fixing a lot of the problems they've had recently to get better. So I like hearing that. That's really, really good. And Nick is really getting very, very professional right now. In fact, at one point in the interview yesterday, he said he had to catch himself. Well, I'm the head coach. I'm just going to go ahead and say, yeah, this is what we are and what we're going to do. So I really feel good about this trip. I really, really do. I feel like we're in a place in our season where we've had enough, we're pissed off, and we're actually getting capable enough to win these games. And we're about to start showing it. Oh, yeah. G saying Thad was saying how great this trip will be and good for them. Yeah, I think that they all believe this and they know this because these guys have been on these trips before and they see how much they bond. These trips are so bonding that they make a guy like Goran Dragic that doesn't fit with the team say, I need to leave because these guys all get along so much better than I do with them. And like, I need to leave because I don't feel like I belong on this team. I'm going home. Okay, get the fuck out of here, Tragic. Because that's what happened last year when we went on the West Coast trip. Goran found out he didn't fit, and he's like, I need to leave. And that's basically what happened. It'll be very interesting to see. Forgetful's here. Good morning. If I was a bettor, I'd put money on a big night for Pascal. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, he's done well against the Kings in the past. I'd like to see this for sure. In fact, he's been a little bit maligned recently for him not playing and stepping up as well. And then the last game, I mean, he did all right in the last game. He was very good in the last game. There's a game before that. He had like 13 points. But yeah, I think that Pascal will do very well tonight. You know, Rico Hines' connection to the Sacramento Kings already in effect. As soon as they land last night, Rico's doing all kinds of events. He's doing a speaking engagement last night. He's got a camp he's running today. He is milking the time that they have around Sacramento for doing as much stuff with his organization, his foundations and stuff, just putting it out there. You go Rico Hines and you get your time filled while you're in Sacramento doing everything that you can do with events and camps and all kinds of stuff he's got going on. But hopefully he can, he's Pascal's personal coach during the summer. He's probably taught him a bit about the Kings over time. And that may be part of the factoring in why Pascal plays well against Sacramento is because Rico Hines was assistant coach there, but at the same time, he was also Pascal's coach in the summer. So, yeah, really interesting. And I hope you're doing some good sorcery at the farm recently. Forgetful. Yeah, I'm not going to forget that. And I hope you haven't forgotten to do some more sorcery. Have you just given it up? You tried a little bit off sorcery. Yeah, that was fun. We won that New York game. That was awesome. And then you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't mess around with it too much. It's like, I don't know exactly the powers that I'm dealing with here. It could be Canadian Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex. Good morning, Bradley. Always good to see you. Ta-da! The brothers Ta-da can come to your house, clean your carpets, wash your windows, move big objects that you cannot lift. Yeah, the brothers Ta-da. They're in the phone book, and they can come and help you in the greater Toronto area. They will be there. Yes, he's saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Another W tonight. Let's go, Raptors. Yeah, you go, Bradley. Have a safe day at work today. And yes, let's get that W tonight. Late night, y'all. Be ready to stay up till about 1:30 a.m. for a 10 o'clock start. Maybe not that late. Maybe it'll get done around 1 o'clock. It's a West Coast time, Sacramento time, baby. 10 p.m. start, but 11 a.m. start also. We're going to get started in about 45 minutes with that 9:05. Let's see if I can get this stream done before then. Logical saying Bob McCowan is a hockey fan only, but pushed to talk on baseball and basketball. I haven't seen a bunch of radio TV hosts pushed in that direction. Jeff O'Neill, former NHL player, talks Raptors now. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Any of those guys, fuck them. They don't come from a basketball background first. I don't listen to them. Everybody who's hockey first is tainted for talking about the Raptors. I just realized that very early in the franchise. It's like anybody who came in, because they would try and bring in hockey personalities to do basketball stuff, and they were horrible. They didn't know the terminology. They didn't treat it with the respect that it deserved. They sounded unprofessional. They made dumb jokes that were hurtful towards the Raptors and the Raptors fans that really cared about the team because they were casual. They didn't give a shit. They were flippant, and they thought it would be more funny to be snarky and make little fun comments. Well, the Raptors will have to do a whole lot to get out of this one. Jamie Campbell. Fucking idiots. Brad Fay to me is the last remnant of these kind of broadcasters that shouldn't be doing basketball. He's the last one around still that I see show up. Danielle Michaud, in a way, too, is annoying to me. She's not really a basketball first person either. She seems like a hockey person. Her last name makes me think that. And that's what I'm saying. These are people that are maybe should be going and doing baseball and hockey and not basketball. And that's why I like seeing more people like Kayla Gray, Leo Routens, Paul Jones. These people are basketball people first. And hockey people first should not be covering basketball in Toronto because, first of all, y'all don't pay enough attention to it to know what you're talking about. And then, second, I don't even know if y'all know enough about the sport in a lot of ways either. But yeah, fuck Bob McCowan. He's always been a piece of shit. Honestly, I never liked him. I listened to him when I was younger too, and I was always like, man, this guy doesn't know what he's fucking talking about. And back in the day, you could get away with it when Raptor fans didn't know what they were talking about either. In the very early expansion days and stuff like that, sure, he could have made sense at a time when nobody knew what they were talking about with the Raptors, but not at this point. The knowledge of the fan base is surpassed your knowledge, Bob McCown. So fucking go put to pasture, at least on NBA subjects. You go ahead and talk your old ass until you die about the Maple Leafs. Go ahead. But maybe put yourself to pasture when it comes to the Raptors and the NBA, because you don't know what you're talking about. You really don't. Callie's here. I think we can win tonight. That Bob interview about OG, he sounded drunk or stoned. Embarrassing. Hope OG stays. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. This dude doesn't know what he's talking about, Bob McCown. Jeez. Man, I could be stoned and I make more sense than you. I mean, this is crazy. Fiercely Salsera's here. Good morning, fam. Great perspective on the representation take, Lex. Let's get a win tonight. Kings have nothing on us. Thanks, Fiercey. I was thinking about it. I was like, why would Fred part ways with Parlay? Why would he do that? I mean, it could be that there was just a personal conflict between somebody in their organization and him. And he's like, yeah, I can go somewhere else. I'd rather go deal with somebody else. Yeah, I don't like you guys anymore. It could be all kinds of different things. But as obviously as there's a difference in direction that they want to go in. And to me, this is what it smacks of the most. It's not that Parlay is going to be saying you should take less money to stay in Toronto. No, the conflict is it's money or staying in Toronto, maybe. And Fred is very much on the record for wanting to stay in Toronto. So I could see it as being like, the agency's kind of like, Fred, you need to leave all your options open. You're going to lose money if you don't do it our way. He's like, fuck your way. I'm not this person. Everybody thinks I'm so selfish and greedy. I'm really not. And that's the crazy tragedy of the character painting of Fred VanVleet recently by Fred haters, is this motherfucker may have fired his agency yesterday because he's not about the money. I'm just saying, Country Kong is here. Good to see Country Kong, a regular on this channel. Good morning, Lex and my fellow freaks. I feel a big win coming tonight. I think this road trip will be a huge success for the Raptors. Our boys will finally get a great chance to bond on the road. I love this. I love this positivity from Country Kong today, and I agree. Let's look at it. 7 games. Let's say, what is a success on this trip? Well, we would say 4 out of the 3 wins for sure. 4 and 3 on the end of the record. That's great. If we can get 5 wins on this trip, woo! I'd like to say get 4. Obviously, get above 500 for the trip and get a little closer on our 500. That's the bare minimum. We have to win 4 of these 7. We can get 5. That's fantastic. 6 or 7 of the 7. That is really pushing it. But 4 or 5 wins on this road trip, I'll be very happy with that. And it is doable. It is very doable. Cowboys saying, gotta go. Keep up the great work, Lex. Everyone smash that like button. Let's go, Raptors and Raptor Freaks. Have a great night. Let's go. You go, Bradley. And as I said, be safe out there on the job. And ta-da, they're your friend. Look them up in the phone book. They will help you out. Cool Cat saying, that's Dad spilling secrets, which is not good because other teams going to go look at the clips to be countered. Well, one thing, maybe they don't know which clips from last year. They're going to have to look for a whole lot of different clips. It may be very specific clips, but you could tell Nick Nurse was annoyed. He really was annoyed with Thaddeus on that. And it's weird because he's like the oldest guy on our team. He should know better. And maybe they're just going to have Nick, like I said, Nate Bjorngren's going to stop by and see him on the jet on the way over there. Thad, can we talk about something real quick? Because he's the privacy guy. Nate Bjorngren. Nick Nurse doesn't even in charge of this. He has to ask Nate what he can tell and he can't tell in certain situations, that when it comes to the coach's book and what their plays and what they're doing with the team, that most people should not know. Behind doors stuff. Yeah. Jay Conda's here. Good to see Jay Conda. We're all good. The NBA is scared of what Masai is going to do. Let the haters hate. We're bigger than that. We've been in this by ourselves since day one. Let's keep on. Yes, that is a Raptors fan that knows what it's like to be in the position of being the Raptors. That we're always behind, a couple of things that are tougher than other teams, and we overcome them. And this is the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I know that I talk about ref manipulations. I know I talk about things that like where there's a bias against Toronto in some ways because we're the Canadian team. We know all this. This is just the landscape that we have to survey and go over the obstacle course to get to that Larry O'Brien. And maybe a little bit more difficult route than teams like Boston and other teams in the league. But we know what we're up against and we're up for the task and we know we can do it. That's the thing. Some people that are defeatists may say, well, it's not even fair how you guys are already have this disadvantage or you have this disadvantage. Well, we don't look at it that way. It's like just give up and why even try when it's not totally fair. We have this it's a mentality that we're going to go overcome whatever it is they put in front of us. And that's the best way to be as a Raptor freak is like, look, yeah, it's not totally fair. The refs do hit jobs on us. The NBA probably never, ever does want the Toronto Raptors to ever win another championship again. Well, just give us the task and we're up to it. We're going to fucking overcome all of it. We'll overcome your 3-man referee crew and the 5 men that are playing on the team we're playing against that day. We'll overcome your bias against Toronto and the fact that y'all don't want Canadian GDP to go up because an NBA championship comes here again. We'll overcome all that shit because we're up for the task and we're ready for it. And in some ways, our guys like going the hard way, the hard route, not the easy way. And the hard route is through Toronto. But that's why it's all the more awesome and amazing when it happens for us. And it will happen again. Trust me. Masai Ujiri doesn't live on this planet not to win NBA championships. He is very much existing for just that. Tom Duke is saying LeBron seems inspired lately. He nailed 9 threes last night, most of his career. Kind of wish we were playing them this trip. He's closing in on Kareem's record. I don't. I mean, if he's hot and the Lakers are playing better all of a sudden, no, we want him when they're struggling. We want him when Davis is out. I know he's been out recently. We want him when it's easier for us to beat them, obviously. We want to game the system a little bit in our favor. Well, good kudos to him. He may know he's getting close to Kareem and he's going in a little bit into overdrive. He's also, he's noticing that his team is close to getting out of the mud. They're similar to us in a way, that they have had some success mixed still with the regular failure that they have. But he's stepping up and motivated. A lot of times in the last couple of years, LeBron has not played as well as he could because he's not as motivated. Well, for some reason, he seems motivated right now. And it could very well be that all-time scoring leader, all-time beating Kareem that's coming up, that's getting him excited and giving him a little bit more motivation. Van Hoot's here. Good to see Van Hoot in his regular name. The nurse coaching tree hasn't done well. Finch is struggling. Nate was fired, but is back here. Stackhouse has done well, though. Well, it's still very early in it. And I would say there's other people that are involved in it that we're not talking about. What about Sergio Scarleone? That's a very, very successful coach from the Nick Nurse coaching tree. Earl Watson, just wait. And we'll talk about him in about 5 years. And we'll see what's going on with him. Rico Hines is now going to be in the coaching tree of Nick Nurse. Trevor Gleason, we can look at his old stuff and say that's a part of the coaching tree. So give it some time. This whole thing with Popovich and his coaching tree developed over decades. And we're really seeing how spread out it is now with how many coaches in this league were under him at some point. So give it some time. Let's see what's happening in about 10 years from now with Nick Nurse's coaching tree. Now, I think Finch has done very well. Let's look at it this way. He stuck around in Minnesota for longer than 2 years. That's usually pretty good. So he's not gotten fired. So I'll say Finch has done pretty good. Now, Bjorngren, yeah, but that wasn't a good fit. And in some ways, Nate is not a good head coach for different reasons. So yeah, that I don't know if it hasn't done well. I think if you pick certain parts, they don't look as good, but other ones on the down low, you think about it. Sergio, I mean, come on, that's since he left us. He went and won Eurobasket last summer. So Logical saying with Precious back and in shape, the options to play like last year open up again. Yeah, this is such an on point statement right here, Mike, for sure. It seems straightforward in a sense, but Nick still uses video from the chip year still currently. Nick uses a lot. Well, this guy's probably got clips and crazy ass plays from like the 90s all the way back and stuff like that. Who knows what all he's got in his library that he can just pop up and show people. So yeah, I don't think it's a really big deal. And it's not like Thad was very specific. He just kind of told them what they were kind of like orienting their team meeting around yesterday. And Nick didn't want anybody to know what they're talking about. So I think it's really more that he broke the code of secrecy that pissed him off. And he did look visibly agitated about it. Really did. I have Candy in my van says, I just checked. Are you Raptors freaky? Seems suspicious. Okay. All right. You're projecting is what's going on here because your name is I have Candy in my van. So I think there's a little projection here. Fiercey Salsera is here and saying it would be interesting to know how Dragic is doing with the Bulls. It seems he didn't quite fit well with the Nets either. When he was on the trip recently to go to Paris, the Bulls played the Pistons in Paris. He was on the plane sitting next to Vucevic. Now, there's guys on that team that get along with him better than our team does. Then there's a couple more veterans on the Bulls also, but I don't know if he fits anybody's team really that well, other than maybe Luka's, because he's just kind of that kind of guy. And in some ways, he's kind of annoying because he's going to demand time and want to play and start, but he's not really good enough to do that. But then he's kind of like maybe he like broods or he's a little bit like, oh, I'm not playing anymore right now. I need to find my place that is of a better, higher desire of winning. What is it? I have higher aspirations than Chicago Bulls. Maybe you should trade me, John Paxson. Something like that. I don't know. I don't even know John Paxson's there anymore. Tom Duke has got a candy, ice cream, a soft serve. He's got the cops. He's got a dog. He's got a light. He's got a police. He's got police coming. Okay, I think that's for I have candy in our van. I think the police are showing up to your house there. Seymour saying West Coast swing Raptors, do your thing. Let's get in the dance. Play in or playoffs. All I know, we are better than our record suggests. Yes, and I love the Saturday Night Fever. There's Seymour Pape. Yeah, this is what they're saying. Like Thad Young said, we're very close to getting back into the play-in, and that's the first step by step, game by game. Let's get the wins, and let's see how the standings adjust accordingly. And if we can continue to climb, maybe we can still get a playoff spot. It's not without reason with how many games are left in the season. We haven't even played the All-Star break. So there's a lot of time, and we could still be a regular playoff spot, like number 6. So don't discount us for that. That is what they still want to do. That's what they said yesterday, is that we're planning to get in the playoffs, at least get in the play-in and make some noise. And that's the thing, there's a lot of teams at the top that we play well. Boston doesn't necessarily want to play us in the first round out of the play-in. Cleveland definitely doesn't want to. Philly doesn't want to play us in the first round again, like they did last year, probably because, it's not fun. So, yeah, we are still playing to win. And anybody who thinks that we're in the Wemby tank super sweepstakes, too bad. So sad. Just, we're not doing that. Trust me, we're too good. Tom Duke's saying, let's dance. Put on your red shoes. All right, there's the time because we're bound to pull it out of the mud. We're bound to get good feelings going. We're bound to get that camaraderie on the road. It could be just as stupid as like we're hanging out at the hotel playing video games in the room after the game because we're all staying together because we're on the road and boom, we're playing video games. There's maybe FIFA games that are happening. There may be like NBA 2K23 games that are happening between teammates and bonding and good feelings and feeling connected. And then boom, it translates to the court all of a sudden. And we see the Raptors getting higher assist totals and just sharing the ball way better and getting better open shots just because they're on the road hanging out 24/7 together. They're going to the huddle house to have breakfast in the morning. How was your sleep, OG? It was great. I love being a Raptor. Bob McCowan's a liar. It's like that. Those are like the morning discussions. Candy in your van sounds weird. Not going to lie. It totally does. Drop emails so we can figure this out. I don't want to figure anything out with you, Candy, in your van. Just take your van down to another block or something. Maybe go to another neighborhood. I don't want your candy van in my neighborhood for the children. You were very sketchy. And I think Tom was right to call the police. Callie's saying that, Tom, laugh out loud. I'm excited about this road trip. Yeah, I am too. You know how that feeling is. Like you've been maybe working all week and it's Friday afternoon around 5 p.m. and you are going to meet your best friend and you're getting in a car to go to Niagara. Yeah, you're hitting the road. You're on the road. You put those tunes in the radio and you're like jamming out. Woo, Thelma and Louise. Woo, woo, woo. We're on the road. We're having a good time. You know how that gets when you're out on the road with your buddies and you get to be around them all the time. This is exactly what these road trips are like. This is exactly what they're like. Their business, don't get me wrong, but part of the business is getting together and having fun so that they play better. So it's all work. Seriously, they could go to some fun activity that we'll see on Open Gym. The team goes to, I don't know, the Redwood Forest for fun. We're going to go see these really tall trees because they're tall. We kind of identify with them. And then they show them trying to put their arms all around one big tree. It's like, oh, the Raptors went and visited the Redwood Forest and an Open Gym today. And we see all the fun they're having, stuff like that. When they went and saw Rocky or something like that, the Rocky statue in Philadelphia. It's that kind of stuff. Team bonding stuff is going to be very heavy over the next 2 weeks. And it may be they come back as a totally different kind of unit just because of the bonding. So it's really cool. I like it. Let's see. Seymour saying, what's your take on the Rui trade? I think it's good for the Lakers. I think they're very happy. A lot of Laker fans are saying Rob Pelinka finally made a good trade. That's what they're saying right now today about, wow, Hashimura, that's a good trade. Wow, Rob Pelinka actually did something good for once, is kind of what they're saying right now. I don't know. I to me, it's not a monumental move in a lot of ways. It will help them, though. I think it will help them. And I don't know. I don't care about things with the Wizards. I'll care about the Wizards when we're about to play them, and I'll go look at their stuff then. But otherwise, I don't really care. Logical Raptors fanatic saying, Van Candy, Lex doesn't do hints like that. He's not a Raptor freaky. Your name attracts weirdos, so it's on you, bro. Trop is my opinion. It's part of the comedy. It's stupid. Dragic was hurt. Watching how Lowry was treated as number 7 for the Raptors, he was chosen over Lowry on the Rockets, and Lowry turned out to have it better and better and be better, and he thought he was better. Yeah, that was kind of, there was some ego checking. You can't have number 7 in Toronto. I'm sorry, Goran. You have to wear number 1. Meanwhile, Lowry can go down to Miami and wear your number 7, no problem. Something weird about that. Well, it's because you didn't earn it here. And Lowry is an NBA champion, and he did earn the right to wear his number down in Miami. So there is a little bit of a not equal thing with Kyle Lowry's resume and Goran Dragic. And yeah, that's interesting how their paths started together in Houston. And that's true. Dragic was ahead of him in the depth chart at that time, early in Lowry's career. And facts. We're hitting the facts with Logical Raptors fanatic today. Seymour Pate. I have Candy now says, wow, that hurts. You don't remember me? I was here when you had 2 subscribers. No, I don't remember you. Just thought you might have got signals crossed on Twitter. It can happen. All good. All right. You're a little bit funny, but you're also a little bit stupid too. It's just tired. Let's just put it that way. All right, here we go. Here's the injury report for tonight. OG is listed as questionable as of right now, but Nick Nurse said yesterday that he will be playing tonight. So yeah, even though he's on the injury report, OG's playing tonight. He is 94%. That is self-described. This is what Nick said. He came in, he said, OG, if you're 92%, I'll play you tomorrow. And OG turned around and said to him, I'm 94%. And does that sound like somebody who's unhappy, who doesn't want to be on the team, who doesn't want to be playing? He's disgruntled because he's not playing enough? No, he's giving Nick Nurse an extra 2% of how good he's feeling and saying, I'm 94% good. You only have to be 92% good, OG, but no, I'm 94% good. Okay, well, then you're playing tomorrow night. And that's what happened. Delano is still out. Hits his hip. He's actually listed questionable, but I don't think it's likely he's going to play. Otto Porter is out for the season, obviously, because of his toe surgery. On the other side, there's only one injury for Sacramento Kings right now. It's Metu. He's a backup power forward for them. And they're all pretty much healthy. It's De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, Davion Mitchell, Malik Monk, Terrence Davis, Trey Lyles, Rashawn Holmes, Matthew Dellavedova, KZ Okepala, Keon Ellis, PJ Dozier, and Nemesis Quetta. That's pretty much the Kings' depth chart. And yeah, they're pretty deep. That second lineup has some pretty nasty players that can really help and just fill in. That's part of why they are strong this year, is that they have a very equitable second lineup to their starting lineup. Trey Lyles has been playing very, very well recently as their big man off the bench. Terrence Davis, we know him. He steps up from time to time off the bench and has monster games. So he's definitely somebody we need to look out for. Malik Monk has been shooting very, very well recently. He's somebody we got to look out for. And then Davion Mitchell is not a bad backup point guard. So the second unit of Sacramento is very strong. and there's not a whole lot of let down from the starters. So that's something that Nick Nurse will have to do with his rotation. He's going to need to be very smart with it. And once again, I'm very much in the camp of use many guys and not just a few, a lot. It's like really a strength is having depth and playing 10 players in your rotation, Nick. You need to do this. If you play 9, okay, but 10 is better. And I'm going to be very curious to see which 5 guys off the bench you will play tonight. Obviously, if OG's back, Precious will probably be one of those 5 with Chris. And then who knows? Will you play Thaddeus again? Will Juancho be like one of those guys? Probably. Will not Jeff Doughton, because he's not going to be there, and neither will Koloko. So it could be Joe Weiskamp gets one of those 5 spots to play. Malachi, who knows? We'll have to see. But I think playing 5 guys off the bench is important, Nick. To counteract how many guys are going to be coming off the Kings bench, because they do have a good bench. Let's see. Fun guy saying, to me, this road trip is more of energy. Our energy is substantially better on the road because of we're out of our comfort zone and only sitting in hotels, which makes them eager to play and move on, unlike being home. Yeah, that's so true. Creature comforts of home can be good, and we really needed them after the Tampa season to come back to, and that's how we felt that relief at the beginning of last season. Well, in some ways, maybe we've been around home too much. This season's schedule has been so weird with blocks of home games, 6 home games in a row, 7 road games in a row. There's blocks. And we've had a couple of home game blocks recently that have really kind of gotten us maybe a little cozy, a little like, oh, we're in Toronto. Yeah, it's just like my life in Toronto. Maybe you do things a little bit different, but out there, well, you're a little more focused, less distractions. You're only there for one reason, and that's to play basketball on the West Coast and be there with your teammates. Here, well, you can go home. You can play video games on Twitch. You can go hang out with your loved ones and your friends. You can go do whatever. It's distraction, your podcast. You may have an appearance. You may have other things you got to go do. Well, on the road, it is very much what Fun Guy's saying. Sit in the hotel room and wait to go play and want to get out there. Carlos saying, morning freaks. And Lolita's saying, it's giving me anxiety just thinking of who will be traded come deadline. Go Raptors. Listen, Lolita, if this can help assuage your anxiety, I don't think they're going to do anything. Honestly, I don't think they're going to do anything. And if you're really, really worried about one of your favorite Raptors leaving this team, we got to once again say we trust Bobby and Masai to make the right decision. And it may be weird. It may look really weird when it happens. But in the long run, we'll understand why. So let's not be worried. I don't think they're going to do anything that major. Honestly, I don't think that they will. I think everybody in the media wants them to, and they're overblowing it, and they're making it sound like there will be something, but I don't think there will. And that's the most fun thing about this. In some ways, like I said, we're really paying attention here. These people are kind of wanting stories to happen for their own occupation and putting content out. I don't care about that. I wish that nothing happens. And in some ways, they have a track record of not doing anything anyway. So I think that we're probably closer to being right than everybody who thinks they're going to sell the farm, tear it down, send 2 or 3 of our main guys out right now. No, they're not going to do that. They really won't. Trust me. Tom Duke said, I remember last year's 5-win game away trip was huge on the West Coast. Yeah, it was our most successful West Coast road trip in the history of the Toronto Raptors franchise. That trip last year where we won so many games on the road, we had never won 5 games on one road trip before like that. Well, let's try and do it again. Let's try and break that. Let's get 6 out of the 7 and break that record that we made last year. These are like crazy goals. And people may be like, that's not realistic, Raptor Freak. You think we're going to win 6 out of the 7 road games we're about to go on? Well, why not? These guys are crazy, and they do the impossible sometimes. And I love it. I love it so much. All right, let me do the ref check for the game in Sacramento tonight. Our referee crew is not totally horrible. Now, I put this all together really quickly right before I went on the air because, like I said, I woke up at 9:24. And went right on the air at 9:30. So you have been catching me right away waking up this morning. It's kind of funny, actually. All right, so our crew chief is Curtis Blair. Curtis Blair is in his 16th season as a ref. He's from Roanoke, Virginia. His favorite TV show is Dexter. He likes the movie Grease. His favorite musicians, Casey and JoJo. His hidden talent is playing tennis. He'd most like to visit Brazil, and his favorite meal is lamb curry. So Tom Duke, get that lamb curry out for him. Curtis Blair was drafted by the Houston Rockets in the 1992 NBA draft. He played professionally in Australia, Austria, and Turkey. So Curtis Blair is a big ref. And the last time we had Curtis, we lost. We have a 61% winning percentage with Curtis Blair. He's our most favored ref tonight. He's the nicest ref towards us. And the Kings only win 33% of the time. So 61% win percentage for the Raptors with Curtis Blair, 33% win percentage for the Kings under Curtis Blair. So our first ref is the big former player, Curtis Blair. And he has been very, very nice to us in the past. So give him some good lamb curry there, Tom. Our second ref is the cop, Justin Van Dyne. He is from Arcadia, California, and now lives in Laverne. His favorite TV show is Entourage. His favorite movies are the Bourne movies. His favorite musician is Jimmy Allen. His favorite book is Moneyball. His favorite app is The Chive. I have no idea what that is. He'd most like to visit Ireland, and his bucket list is to visit every baseball stadium. Justin Van Dyne likes sushi. So he's a sushi guy. So we got a lamb curry and we got a sushi so far. That's right. He was a police officer in Ontario, California for 9 years, Justin Van Dyne. He was also a middle school PE teacher for 2 years. So that's Justin Van Dyne. The last game we had him referee, we actually won. We win 55% of the time when Justin is around, and the Kings win 44% of the time. So once again, the split favors us, 55 to 44. And we won the last game Justin refereed for us. So yeah, the cop is the second one. The third ref is Andy Nagy. He's in his fourth season. He's from Toledo, Ohio. His favorite TV show is Dun Dun Dun. His favorite musician is she got me under pressure. She got me under pressure. She beat me up and let me in the ditch. She like cocaine. I love that band. And rest in peace, Dusty Baker. I miss y'all, ZZ Top. Oh my gosh. His favorite app is Amazon. He most like to visit the Maldives. He would like to get a hole-in-one on his bucket list. And he is a barbecue expert. He would like a filet mignon. So we got a lamb curry, a sushi, and a filet mignon for our referees tonight. Andy Nagy has 6 seasons of NBA G League experience. He refereed the NBA G League playoffs 3 times in 2016 to 2018. And he refereed the NBA G League finals twice in 2017 and 2018. So yeah, Andy Nagy is very similar to Justin Van Dyne. We win 55% of the time when he is refereeing, and the Kings win 40% of the time. And we won the last game that Andy Nagy refereed for us this season. So there's your referees for tonight. Curtis Blair, the former player, Justin Van Dyne, the former cop, and Andy Nagy, the former church league official. So there you go. There's your refs for tonight. Yeah. All right, let's see what else is going on in the comments real quick. Tom Duke's saying, I remember. Okay, yeah, I read that. I have candy in my van. All right, let's see what these shenanigans are. If Kevin Durant doesn't get hurt in the 2019 finals, how do you think you guys get beat? I got Warriors in 5. Okay, you're gone. You're done. You're a troll, and you are out. I was making it kind of fun for you for a little bit, but yeah, that's just bullshit. Listen. We would have beat them either way. I don't care if Durant was playing or not. This is a team of destiny, and the Raptors were the better team overall than the Warriors. They had a thin lineup no matter what. Even with the injuries or without the injuries, they had a thin lineup. And I'm one of these people that say, you know what, Warriors fans that discount our championship against y'all, you don't validate it or whatever the fuck, that's bullshit. We're a champion. We beat your ass, and it's just because you don't want to admit that a team beat you in the finals and they're 1-0 against you in the finals. I don't give a shit. This is the way this league is. And I have Kenny in your van. Well, your Kenny in your van is out at the river next to Chris Farley's van now, and you're just gonna have to be down there because you ain't coming here again. You gone. You out of here with your stupid ass, like fucking dumbass name and all your fucking overtures of stupid ass shit. Well, you just came out as a troll with your stupid ass Golden State Warriors championship comment there. So yeah, fuck off, and you out of here. You ain't coming back. If you come back with another name, I'll kick you out again. Watch. Bam. All right, so let's keep going. Carlos saying, so reports of OG wanting out is leaking out, and then reports of Raptors willing to re-sign Gary Trent in that order. Laugh out loud. Raptors media really something. Now, I will say this, Carlo. First of all, don't believe any of the OG reports. First of all, we already talked about them a lot this morning, and it is just not true. Trust me. Anybody who's paying attention to this team knows that OG is quite happy playing for the Raptors, and his role is not being diminished. He is getting as much opportunity as he wants. So any of the logic in these reports about OG is like false. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. He has very much a good time playing with his best friends, Pascal, Fred, and Scotty. And also, he is not getting opportunities. He is getting every single opportunity laid in front of him possible. So there's no logic in this. And in fact, he, like I said, he told Nick Nurse yesterday he's 94% ready to play. So he's eager to get back out there after just kind of twisting his ankle a little bit against Boston on Saturday. So yeah, these people don't know what they're fucking talking about. Yeah, and the Gary Trent thing is, yeah, we do want to re-sign him. That just makes sense. Like, he's playing so good. Everybody in the league would love to have him on their team right now. So yeah, Gary's not only playing for more money for a bigger contract, but he's playing to make it so hard for us to tell him we can't have you anymore. Because it really is getting that point. All the fans are saying he is untradeable. We just have to keep him. It's just a prerequisite. We have to keep. It's mandatory now. Gary just has to stay on the team because he's just that good, and we like him and we want him on this team because he does these things for us. Yeah, it's getting that point. And that's really what that phenomena is now people are saying, well, some people are saying the Raptors are really thinking about investing in him and keeping him around. Well, I think that would be smart. I really do. Because he's the kind of guy that will show up and do his best no matter what, whether he's in a contract year or not. Some ways people are saying, well, it's a contract year. Maybe this is why he's playing out of his mind right now. But you know what? He's this kind of way. He has pride and he wants to win. He's going to play all out like this, whether it's a contract year or not. Trust me. And in a way, he's around Fred and Pascal. They rub off on him. He's more and more, these guys are different than most NBA players. You got to understand what makes Pascal and Fred tick that is different than other teams. There's some things that they don't care about that other people care about more. And that's what I'm trying to say. Tom Dukes got the food out. He's got it looks like a pancake with whipped cream or something on top of it. And then he's got sushi. That's good for Van Dyne. And then he's got the meat for the filet mignon. Okay, this is good. This is good. All right, the refs are getting fed. Race Mode Daly's here. I wish I could go watch the Raptors game tonight. We're winning. I'll guarantee it here. See, this is the thing. Edmund just flew out to California already. He's already out there, I believe. So he could actually go to the games out in the West Coast. Edmund, if you can line it up and get to one of the Raptor games out West Coast, that would be badass. But whatever you're on for your business trip or whatever you're doing out there, just be safe and have a very pleasant time out there. And I love that we have Raptor Freak vibes close to the team in proximity out there because Edmund's out there right now. Yes, you go, Race Mode Media, and we appreciate you being out there, keeping the vibe strong on the West Coast. Logical saying the Raptors in the 2018-19 season beat Golden State twice in the regular season, once without Kawhi and KD going off, and he and Golden State still lost that game. So we match up well, but casuals were told by ESPN. Yeah, listen, I will fight this fight. This is one of the places where we take a stand as Raptor freaks and say, do not disrespect our championship. Do not start saying what it could have, should have, this. If this had happened, if Kevin hadn't got hurt, well, how soon had the Warriors would have beaten you? Do not disrespect our team like that because we earned that championship. Trust me, we very much earned that championship. And all you motherfuckers who think that we didn't because of those injuries or whatever, fuck y'all. That's a tough team to beat all the time anyway. And listen, what Mike's saying is we consistently beat them already before that. We were a team of destiny. That team was going to win the championship no matter what. I don't give a shit if Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson were not hurt. If they were not hurt, we would have beat them anyway. And y'all don't have any way of proving that either way anyways. All you can go by is what happened, and what happened is real and it's validated, and it is a real championship. So fuck every single person who doesn't think the Toronto Raptors championship should count because of stupid ass fucking injuries that we had no control over. So fuck all y'all that think that way. We won it and we got it, and y'all need to just fucking get used to it and put more respect on our team for winning it and earning it that year. Yeah, Jimmy's saying exactly, and I agree. Lolita said, I want to see more minutes for Joe. Will Nick please play the bench? Yes, Joe W. We want more W's because of W. And put him out there, Nick. Maybe we'll see him a bit on this West Coast trip. He does not go with the 905ers. He is not. He's played down there once, but he really is with us up on the main roster. And, Jeff Doughton, Ron Harper Jr., and Koloko, those guys are all with the 905 today. But I'm pretty sure Joe Weiskamp is in Sacramento tonight. So that's pretty interesting. Joe Weezy, let's go. That's our good vibes shooter guy. Yeah, I like it. Johnny Lee's here. Gary will be gone. His Insta post said it all. All right, let me go look at this since Johnny Lee has come in here with his first comment. Appreciate you being here, Johnny Lee, and thanks for the sub. You know what? Let me look at Gary Trent Jr. just real quick and see if there's any kind of substance to this with his Instagram post. I'm on his Instagram. There seems to be a couple of posts of him dunking on the Knicks. There's dunks. I don't see anything where it says anything about him leaving. It says it's already written. Okay. Are you talking about that he wrote it's already written on his post? Well, you know what? Maybe he knows something already. Maybe you don't, Johnny. Maybe he knows it's already written, the contract that he's signing with the Raptors to stay with them. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what it means when he says it's already written. In some ways, some people live their lives in this way. It's like, look, it's all set up. My path is what it's going to be, and I'm just walking down it. And that he knows that whatever is going to happen with him it's already written. That he doesn't need to have anxiety like Lolita's having about it because it's all God's plan. It's all the way it's supposed to unveil and happen the way it's supposed to. So don't get it too twisted. It's written. It's already written. Could very much mean that his contract for the Raptors to re-sign is already written. So you can infer it in a couple of different ways, Johnny Lee. But yeah, not a good first comment. Let's just put it that way for a positive Raptors space. We're not about this kind of stuff. Jimmy's saying if Iggy didn't hit that lucky shot, we would have been lined up to win 4-1. Yeah, there's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda. I like to just go by what happened in reality, and like people can make their fan fiction, make up any kind of idea of scenario that should have happened or could have happened. Well, things just happened the way they did, and that's how they happened. And people need to just get used to that and live that way for sure. Let's see. Logical saying Clay played 40 minutes in game 4 and 42 in game 5 and 32 in game 6 before getting hurt. Clay played as much as possible, and the Raps rolled over that. So Clay getting hurt didn't really do much. Yeah, I agree with that. These are just excuses. It's just like a common way of any team on any given night. Oh, well, we didn't have Giannis, and y'all beat us. It's the same kind of stupid shit. All right, let's see what Johnny's saying. Gary Trent Jr. picture gives goodbye vibes. Can't underestimate Sacramento tonight. They do and have the number 1 offense in the league right now, averaging 120 points per game, have been a top 5 offense this entire year. Oh, I'm not underestimating them. Trust me. I mean, I don't know where you're getting any of this. But yeah, Gary Trent Jr. picture gives goodbye vibes? No, it doesn't. Seriously, he's in a Raptor jersey in that picture. And like I said, listen, Jordan Bolton's come out this week and said that Gary wants to stay in Toronto. I think you're misinterpreting things. Look, we've already talked about this. You're a day late, Johnny. Gary has a Raptors tattoo on his body, permanently inked on his skin. You don't think that he wants to stay with the Raptors as long as possible if he's going to put Raptors stuff on his body? Did you know that Gary Trent Jr.'s dog is named 6? Like the number 6 with an IX. Did you know that they got red hoodies to match each other because of the Raptors colors? That Jordan Bolton keeps tweeting these things, bring my Relly home. Well, he doesn't necessarily mean Minnesota. He means Toronto. Bring him home and keep him here. And that he clarified that recently for the fans. They were wondering what he means when he says, bring my Relly home. So listen, I'm paying attention to his best friend in Minnesota. I'm paying attention to Gary, seeing him and the way he looks with the team and how he gets along with them and how he's playing. And this man is wanting to stay in Toronto. And if you think that he wants to leave, you're crazy. Because once again, I'll say this. He is happy here. He loves playing for the Raptors. And in a lot of ways, that it will keep him here more than like the uncertainty of going into a new situation that may not be that fun. Chris Boucher on the recent Hustle Play podcast very much illuminated the way players look at trades, and they don't like them. All the fans are like, ooh, let's move this guy, move this guy. They hate this shit, moving, uprooting their whole entire lives just to go play for another team. If they can avoid getting traded, they like that much better. Trust me. And when you're a middle of the pack kind of player in the league and you get switched around as trade fodder all the time, that's annoying. You don't like that. When you're, somebody like PJ Brown who got traded so much, you don't like that. So don't get it twisted. These guys, when they have a good situation, like Chris Boucher, he said, I know what I am in Toronto and I know where I'm going to be. And I like to be here. I don't care about going anywhere else because then I have to start all over with proving myself, fitting in, fighting for my minutes, fighting for my role. And when those things are already clearly defined on the team I'm already on, I'd like to just stay here. And I think that Gary likes playing for the Raptors. So in all logic, why the fuck, listen, it may be the money. You say, okay, well, this team is just going to throw this much money, then I'll go there. Sure, that could happen. But saying that he's already gone, you're fucking crazy. Because listen, a lot of reports in the last couple of days are saying the Raptors are keeping him now. So you're a little late on the news, bro. You may be talking about news from last week. We're talking about news from yesterday here. We're a little bit more current on what's going on. Because, yeah, all the news is saying, insiders are saying the Raptors are wanting to keep Gary Trent Jr. at this point. And that makes sense considering how well he's played lately. Yeah, goodbye vibes. I don't understand that. I really don't. Johnny Lee, I really don't understand this. Listen, we're Raptors fans first and foremost. You don't sound like a Raptor fan. Seriously, bro. And listen, I don't underestimate the Sacramento Kings at all. I understand they're the best they've been in decades. And that this is a very potent offense for sure. They make a lot of threes. They made 22 against Memphis on Monday night. But listen, we're that kind of team that matches up really well with that. And I have a very good faith in us to play them very, very strongly tonight and make a good effort to try and win. And that's all I can ask for from the Raptors. So, yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be a fun game tonight. And the Raptors 905 are about to tip off in 3 minutes. So I should finish this up. Fun guy saying, hey, thought-provoking question. Do you see a future potential in NBA where the lineup expands to like 6 or 7 guys and the court gets bigger? Meaning wider three-point lane, even taller rim. Sounds cool. Listen, in some ways, the NBA does want to innovate and add things. Like when they added the three-point line, that was a huge, crazy new thing that really did change the game a lot. And, all the rumblings and grumblings about maybe possibly a 4-point line are real. And they're always trying to innovate. But these are very radical changes that you're talking about, fun guy. But they're not out of the realm of possibility for like hundreds and hundreds of years from now. This game will evolve over time. And I don't know. I can't say that what you're saying in this could never happen, but I don't think it's likely that it'll happen in our lifetime or in any kind of maybe our children or our grandchildren's lifetime. It may be something that really evolves over like hundreds of years if the NBA is still around at that time. That could happen. I'm not going to say that never could happen. I think raising the rim is a little bit, unless the athletes just get absolutely crazy so good that there's a reason for them to raise the rim, it's probably not likely they'll raise the rim. Now, the other stuff with making the court bigger and more players, I don't know. That may not totally make sense because it may make it more cluttered. And the bigger court means they're going to have to work harder. And that could mean more injuries too in some ways. So I don't know. But I won't say no, fun guy. But if that kind of stuff happened, I would say it's probably going to have to happen like 200 or 300 years from now. Just the way how quick the game evolves, it may take a little longer for that to get there. Logical saying Gary Trent Jr. is getting a lot of opportunity on the Raptors and realizes how much better he's getting and what they want from him and think he can be a hardened like shooter, and building that passing game is key. Yeah, he has it really good here. Trust me, he hated being in Portland. Portland did not treat him well. He was depressed. And since he's come to Toronto, he's been all smiles. You see him smiling. He understands where he stands, even with the uncertainty of his season this year. We're going to the bench and coming back to the starting lineup. it seemed like they really communicated well with him through that whole process, and he didn't get upset about it. In fact, he reacted very, very strongly to it with very, very good play and made them put him back in the starting lineup. That's the kind of way you want to see a player react to a benching, like what happened to him this season. And listen, I don't see any kind of upsetness about all that. In fact, he cruised right through all that adversity with his head held high in a very respectable way, Gary Trent Jr. So yeah, I don't know. There's a couple people coming in here today that are a little bit off the vibes of this channel. And yeah, we will rectify that as we go. That's just how it is. This is a clubhouse in a way. This is for positive Raptor fans that really do love the team. And we're not all about trolls like I have candy in my van, or people that are kind of a little bit on the negative tip that I don't totally know yet. And they're already coming with kind of bullshit takes. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's go into the real mascot matchup. I am going to try and finish this up quick because I do want to watch Koloko. All right, the last time we saw the Raptor, he was laying on the ground in a field and he was bleeding to death from being attacked by hawk, attacked by a buck, and then attacked by some pack of wolves. And they all ripped him up, and he's kind of shredded up and bleeding. Well, he's got to do something to fix himself, and he was looking for a little bit of luck. Well, he didn't find that luck, and he's kind of still nicked up inside, but the nicks are kind of like coagulating and hardening, and like he's starting to feel a little better. He rolled around a little bit on the ground because he actually, just by happenstance, was lucky enough to fall in the natural herb that he learned from the Trailblazer a couple weeks ago that can heal his wounds. And he just happened to be laying in a patch of this kind of weird clover herb that is a magical remedy, an herbal remedy, man. And he can just roll right into it, and it's kind of helping the blood clot and close up the very bad wounds that he's had from getting attacked recently. So yeah, this was really good. His nicks are closing up. And now he's feeling like a little bit more high and mighty. In fact, he wants to see if he can be master and king of his dominion as far as standing up and being able to walk again and start his climb out of the woods again. He's still trying to get out of the woods. And he now is at least able to get up on his feet. Will he majestically step forward like a king? Or will he falter and fall again once to the ground, weak from his injuries? Let's find out next time on the Real Mascot Matchup. All he did in this episode was roll around in a field of grass and then try and stand up. There you go. That's a Real Mascot Matchup for you there. Bam, 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 bam. All right, there we go. Jimmy's saying, I swear Gary has a dino claw tattoo. This is confirmed. Kenrick Chronic Art James has told me, he's a tattoo artist, that Gary has Raptors related ink on his body. He has very much put Raptors related ink on his body. Carlos saying, on another note, I think the Raps really try to accommodate OG, even though he loses balance all the time. They let him expand his offense as much as he wants, even when it's to the detriment of the team. Yeah, Carlo's right. I mean, look at this period when Pascal was out earlier in the season after the splits in Dallas, that OG became our number one for a little bit of time there and really was the main guy we were putting the ball through. And he had a lot of success. OG's been getting a career high in points every season recently. He had that one against New York last year. Well, he's had games this year in the 30s also. There's nothing that points to him being disgruntled. You know, we can look at the photo shoot at the beginning of the season when they did those really cool photos in that red box where he's sitting in the chair, and Masai was doing his pictures, and OG came into the room and they started talking trash about, oh, who's going to take the better picture. And it was very much not like a player GM relationship. It was very much more like a brotherly relationship or a father-son relationship. And this is the thing that nobody gets in the media around Toronto or in the NBA, that the Raptors are a family franchise, that other teams may be more business-like and don't make those kind of connections that really kind of feel like that. They may say they do, but it's lip service. But we really do take this seriously, that our team is like a family. They talk about it all the time. It's like, we're going out on the trip, Thad said yesterday, and it'll be nice to have time with the family. And he means the team. And that's what I'm saying. Masai doesn't look at OG as just another player on this team. He does really look at him as a person that he really values and loves, as maybe almost even like a son. So don't discount that part of the relationship, and why OG would be very happy to be here is because Masai Ujiri does want to make him very happy and has been making him very happy. I don't think OG's ever been upset around our team. And this is the thing that makes it even more stupid. The whole blow up about OG being upset is that I've never ever seen him like that. I've never heard him complain. I don't ever see his personality being like that. He is not a very emotional person outwardly like that. So I don't get where they're reading things like this. Sure, they could look at Scotty and see his facial reactions on the court and maybe misinterpret him and say, oh, Scotty's upset. He's perturbed. He doesn't look happy. But there's nothing from OG that is giving them any signals for this. And that's crazy to me that they just manufacture this. So I want to put this to rest. This may be the Bob McCowan episode for today. Fuck you, Bob McCowan, with your lies you spread on your radio show yesterday that spread to Yahoo. And now more people believe that this is true. This is a really good example of how misinformation spreads, and it's just lies, because this is a lie. Y'all know this is a lie. And once again, I will put my credibility up against Bob McCown's credibility on this one, knowing I am correct on this one. It's so crazy. All right, Johnny, let's see if you're going to get one more comment after this. This may be your last comment on the channel. Nick Nurse said in his book that OG came to him and said he was frustrated with how Fred would always ask for the ball off of him. This is what Giovanni tried to say too last night. This doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. I don't know. I haven't read this book. And if there is a passage here, maybe I'll do a little research and see exactly what that passage says. But this does not sound right at all. And once again, this just sounds like some made up bullshit that people are fucking don't like the Raptors are just spouting off shit. I'm serious, bro. That does not sound like the characteristics of OG. And first of all, him and Fred are very close. Once again, that bench mob unit got really solidified together that year when they were all kind of together. You can see the how hungry are you when they're all sitting around the table. Fred, DeLon, Pascal, OG, Norman. And that the palling around and the chemistry, this is the thing. OG is so tight with Fred that this does not make any fucking sense. And if it's in Nick's book, I don't understand why he put it in there, first of all, because it wouldn't serve him to put that in there. And then also, that it just doesn't go to his character type. Seriously, this guy's such a quiet dude. And I don't really see it in his personality to be this kind of person that comes to behind the back or say something to Nick or something. And even what was he saying? Look, listen, at that time, maybe Fred should have been getting the ball off of OG because he was more of an offensive player than OG was at that time, being more defensive minded. So we don't even know the timeline of when this occurred and what happened if this did actually occur. Now, you guys are saying this isn't a book, but this is so stupid. This is so dumb. Johnny, you know what? Fuck you. You're out of here, man. I don't care who you are. You did not come here and ingratiate yourself before this bullshit. So you're out, bro. I'm sorry, man. All right, let's see. Let's see. There's one more comment here. I'm a fun guy. OG, Masai, and Precious are all Nigerian, so there's a real connection. OG and Precious probably even understand Yoruba when Masai speaks it. Laugh out loud. That's what I'm saying, man. People... They're trying to tear us apart any which way. And they think that OG's the weak link. That's the hilarious thing to me. In fact, he's the one that I worry the least about in some ways. I would worry more about Gary right now in some ways, but I'm not worried about any of them. Anyway, I want to wrap this up. This is a real quick recap because I want to watch Koloko right now. And he just started. OG is questionable today, but he's going to play tonight. They've already said he's going to play yesterday. And then all this bullshit from Bob McCowan's bullshit. Delano is questionable today and Otto is out. On the other side, Metu is out for Sacramento. I believe he's totally out. Is he out? He is day to day. Okay, so he could possibly play today. The referees for today, right now, for 905 are JD Rails, Ken Jones, and Josh Wilson. That the game is on right now. Birmingham at the 905 out in Mississauga, and Koloko is playing for them. So y'all tune in right now and watch Koloko play right now. Sacramento game, our refs are Curtis Blair is the crew chief, Justin Van Dyne, and Andy Nagy. That is our crew for 10 o'clock tonight out in Sacramento, and that's a pretty favorable crew for us. All right, guys, thanks for watching me today. If you enjoyed my channel, please hit like and subscribe and share and comment. Do all that YouTube stuff that they say to go do. Let's beat Sacramento tonight. Yeah, it is a test, and we shouldn't underestimate them. That's true. We got to be ready to come out there and put a very, very good effort on them right away and for the full 48 minutes and make sure we win this game. No offensive stagnation. Really be smart, Nick, with your rotations and mixing and matching good offensive players with bench players so you can buy time for some of your starters to rest during the middle of the game. So at the end of the game, they are absolutely fresh to close it and bring you home. Fred and Pascal not coming in until 3 minutes to go in the game, and the last game was very smart. And if you can replicate those kind of rotations today, you will have success. Trust me, Nick. Because in some ways, it's going to be a scoring race. Sacramento's going to get theirs to a degree with their threes and the way they like to score. Well, we can try and limit them, cut their water off, but we also need to be able to score ourselves. So hopefully we can keep them between 100 and 110 points, and we can get between 110 and 120 points and keep them below their scoring average for the year. So, yeah, I believe in y'all Raptors. You put in the right effort. You bond on this road trip and show that good chemistry, and we will win games. I'm all about that. All right, guys. All right, one more comment from Mike, and then I'm signing off. Telephone message, check the raw data for the real OG asking Nick for the ball more in the bubble and what Nick's talked to this summer, and everybody thought that stuff was connected, but it's not. Yeah, a lot of it is misinterpreting other quotes. And I think that this is what's going on once again. All right, y'all, you guys are the real ones. I fucking kick out the non-real ones real quick. I have a low tolerance and patience for y'all these days with all the bullshit out there like Bob McCowan. So yeah, fuck you, Bob McCowan. That's how I'm going to end my thing and say, go Raptors. Let's beat the Kings tonight. Let's put the hurting on Herter and the rest of the crew. And we can make Domantas Sabonis look like he's a little bit slow and just mess him up too. Like really negate him on the boards. Precious Achua, Chris Boucher, Thad Young, Pascal Siakam. Keep him off the boards and just do as best y'all can. Y'all will win tonight. I believe in the Raptors. Let's go Raptors. Y'all have a great day and go watch that 905 game right now. Let's go Raptors 905 and let's go Raptors tonight, 10 p.m. And tomorrow I'll have the reaction of both games. So tune in tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. I'll be back. Let's go Raptors!